They say some stories are better left untold, locked away in dusty basements where no one dares to look. But I found one, a journal, a notebook, hidden beneath the floorboards of an old ancestral home. Its pages tell the story of a young man named Tom, his hunger for power, the forbidden ritual he performed, and the horror that consumed him. I shouldn't be reading it. I shouldn't even be telling you this. But as I turn these pages, I feel something calling me, tempting me. So listen closely, because this isn't just Tom's story anymore. If I'm not careful, it could become mine, and maybe yours. Tom had been away for years, studying abroad, far from the crumbling family home that carried with it the weight of generations. When his father fell sick, he returned, not just out of duty, but because something inside him told him he had unfinished business there. On his deathbed, his father had whispered one final warning. "Never open the basement, Tom. Promise me, never." Tom promised, but curiosity is a heavy thing, and grief makes promises weak. For 2 weeks, Tom tried to ignore it. He stayed upstairs, repairing shutters, cleaning out dust, listening to the old house creak in the night. But every time he passed the end of the hall, his eyes drifted to the swollen wooden door, the basement door. It stood there like it was waiting for him. One evening, unable to fight it any more, Tom found the old iron key in his father's desk. He unlocked the basement door. The basement smelled of earth, mold, and something sour. The steps groaned beneath him as he descended, flashlight trembling in his hand. And there, among dust, cobwebs, and crates stacked high, he found things. Jars of cloudy liquid with shapes floating inside. Bones, small and yellowed, stacked like firewood. A wooden chest carved with patterns so warped they looked like screaming faces. And on a shelf, beneath a moth-eaten cloth, a notebook, leather-bound, old. The handwriting inside was his father's, but frantic, desperate. It wasn't a diary, it was instructions, a mantra, to summon something called the second self. The words inside chilled him. It can do what no man can do. It can finish in minutes what a man cannot in hours. It can travel faster than light itself. But beware, it is a trickster. It will fight against its bondage, and if you falter, it will not serve you. It will consume you. The ritual was simple. 40 nights of chanting within a protective circle. 40 nights of resistance against the second self's deceptions. If completed, the doppelgänger would be bound forever. Tom should have walked away, but instead, he began. Tom was lonely, adrift. His life abroad was uncertain, his career slipping away. And so on the 7th night, he found himself in the basement, kneeling inside a circle of chalk and salt, whispering words that tasted strange in his mouth.
The first nights were quiet. The chanting echoed off the basement walls, the candlelight flickered, and Tom felt foolish. But then the tricks began. On the 10th night, he saw faces in the shadows, his father whispering, "Stop this, Tom! Stop before it's too late!" On the 15th night, he heard claws scratching outside the circle, something snarling like an animal desperate to get in. And on the 20th night, everything changed. The notebook had warned him, "It will play with your mind. It will make you see horrors, but nothing can touch you as long as you remain inside the circle." And yet the visions grew worse.
On the 22nd night, the basement caught fire. Flames roared, smoke filled his lungs, and yet he stayed seated, chanting, and the fire vanished like it had never been. On the 25th night, water flooded in, rising to his chest, choking him. He nearly broke the circle, nearly ran, but he remembered the words, "illusion," and just like that, the water was gone. On the 30th night, a policeman appeared, tall, broad, face pale as death. He barked, "Come with me, Tom. You've broken the law. Step out of the circle." Tom nearly obeyed, but he said to himself, "It's all illusion." He kept it saying to himself. And then the officer's face melted, revealing teeth too long, too sharp. Tom continued chanting. The figure dissolved. On the 35th night, creatures came, monstrous things, twisted beyond reason. They clawed at him, tore at his flesh, but their hands passed through him like smoke. And through it all, Tom persisted. On the 40th night, the basement grew silent. No fire, no flood, no screams, no monsters, only darkness. And then it stepped forward. His doppelgänger, his second self. It looked like Tom, same face, same eyes, but wrong. The smile stretched too wide, the voice too smooth. It said, "You have done well. You have bound me. Tell me, Tom, what do you desire?" Tom's heart raced. He thought of wealth, of power, of love. He thought of everything he had ever wanted. "I want you always with me," Tom said. "You will obey me in everything I command." The doppelganger's grin widened. "As you wish."
For a moment, Tom felt unease, a whisper that he had made a mistake, but greed smothered it. He asked for his favorite food from England. It appeared instantly. He asked for $1 million. Within minutes, the money was stacked before him. Tom laughed, drunk on power. He thought he had won. That night, Tom went to bed smiling. But only minutes after drifting to sleep, he felt a hand shake him awake. His doppelganger stood over him. "What can I do for you?" "Leave me alone! Let me sleep!" Tom growled. 5 minutes later, he was shaken awake again. "What can I do for you?" And again, and again. Sleep became impossible. Tom demanded impossible things: snow from Mount Everest, treasures from distant lands, rare animals, ancient relics. The doppelganger returned with all of them, always within minutes, and always, always asking, "What can I do for you?" The truth struck Tom like a knife. He had made a fatal mistake. He hadn't commanded the doppelganger to appear only when summoned. He had bound it to be with him always, and always it would serve him, even if the service destroyed him. Days turned into weeks. Tom's eyes grew hollow. His skin sagged. The villagers whispered about the strange noises at night, the strange treasures he flaunted by day.
Soon, the doppelganger twisted Tom's life further.
It whispered ideas. It urged him to steal, to hurt, to humiliate. And when Tom resisted, it forced his hand, moving his body like a puppet until he obeyed. The villagers began to fear him. Children ran when they saw him. Doors slammed shut when he walked by. The wealth, the power, the miracles, they meant nothing now. His life was shame. His life was torment. And at last, he broke. One final entry appeared in Tom's journal, written with a shaking hand. Never attempt to enslave the second self. It does not want to serve. It will trick you. It will hollow you. And it will leave you with nothing but death. The next morning, the villagers found him dead, his body crumpled in the basement, the notebook beside him. But the story did not end with Tom. Because years later, I found the journal. I read every word. I know Tom's mistakes. I know the pact he made. I know the horrors he endured.
Tom was a fool, but me, I won't be. I tell myself this as I stand before the basement door, notebook in hand. The circle is waiting. The candles are waiting. And tonight I will begin. Or maybe not.